Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a long time since I've made a video. It's been about a year at this point since I've put a video on this channel. I started my own makeup business in February of 2018, and when I first started making videos, it was kind of right after I started my business and I was still just kind of in the beginning stages. So once my business kind of took off and I got super busy, it's been pretty hard to make videos and do all of the editing and things because I just kind of had a lot going on. I work for myself full time and I have pretty much 2 or 3 events every weekend and then a lot of stuff during the week too. Bridal trials and different magazine shoots, different other styled shoots and things that I'm doing. So I have a lot on the plate. Obviously currently right now we're in like a time of staying home just with everything going on in the world. So I have some free time and I figured I'd get on here and create some content for you guys just because it gives me something to do. And it's a way to still connect with you even though I can't do makeup right now. On my clients, I can still do it myself. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the sunset look that I just did. And I'm trying out a bunch of different new kind of looks and styles and things like that just because I like to always stay like really fresh and current on what's going on. And I like to experiment and try different things to make sure that I always am up on techniques and things like that. Because obviously, like I said, I do this full time, so I need to make sure that I am able to do whatever it is my clients ask for. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It is just kind of my basic everyday makeup, what I like to do, what I wear when I just want to look cute and I don't want it to take too long. And I love winged eyeliner. It's kind of been like my go-to look for a really long time. I practiced for a really long time to get good at doing winged eyeliner. Yeah, if you guys enjoy, make sure to go and follow me on my Instagram, subscribe. All that information will be down below, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So thank you for coming back to watch my videos after me being gone so long. If you guys have any questions, let me know, leave them down below. I will leave all the products that I use down below as well. I held them up and kind of showed you guys what they were, but I'll leave them in the description too. Enjoy the video. All right, so let's get into it. I am going to put my headband on to keep my hair out of my face. I love this little headband. So I haven't done anything to my skin right now except for wash it. I am going to go ahead and start with moisturizer. So I use the Obagi Hydrate Luxe Moisture Rich Cream. It's very thick, so if you have oily skin, it's probably not the best for daytime use, but I have more like normal to dry skin, so I like using it for that. So we're just gonna rub that in. I just love how this gives such a nice hydrating base. In the summer, I do not use this because I tend to obviously sweat more because it's so hot. I use something lighter typically in the summer, but since it's still not really super warm yet, I'm still using it. So I do self-tan. So right now you can kind of tell, not too much. I did self-tan my face, but it never really gets as dark. So I already put a little bit of foundation on my neck and my chest just to like make sure it's even and matches. So that's already done. And then next we're going to do primer. I love the Becca Backlight priming filter. This has literally been a favorite for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years at this point. I love it so much. So I'm just gonna take that and rub this all over my face. This is definitely more of a hydrating primer too, but I love hydration. I love my skin to look like plump and healthy. So that, and then of course we have the fill in the pores. So this is the Benefit Professional, the hydrating version that they just came out with. I just got a mini because I wanted to try it, but I decided I loved it. So I am going to be buying the full size version. But right now I still have a little bit of this one left. So I'm going to be using that. And I just use a little bit of this and I just press it right in the area where my pores are more prominent. So right here, typically this is where most people's are, right here. And the little smile lines on my chin. If you guys hear like a weird noise in the background, my ice maker is literally psycho. I have no idea why it does this, but it makes like knocking noises. Like sometimes it seriously sounds like someone's knocking on my door, but it's just the ice maker. It drives me insane. So now that we are all prepped, skin is nice and hydrated, we're gonna go in foundation. This is a foundation, the Beauty Blender foundation, that I really like a lot. It lasts a really long time and it wears really well, and it has good ingredients too. My typical everyday that I wear, especially in the like winter and spring, is the NARS Radiant Longwear, but I ran out and I need to get a new bottle. I'm like in this phase where with everything going on right now, I'm trying to try new foundation since I have so much time, and it doesn't really matter if it looks horrible or not at the end of the day because no one's gonna see it except for me. So this is one though that I've tried and tested and I know that I love, so I figured I'd use that one since I'm out of the NARS one. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on my finger. And you always want to take your foundation, at least this is the way I like to do it, I like to put it like right on the cheek, because that tend to be the area that you want to cover the most. Then I'm going to take my sponge. This is a Sonia Kashuk sponge. I normally wipe the rest off my finger and then pat it in. And I like to drag it, the rest kind of out on the edges. So like I said, I already put foundation on my neck and my chest, just for the sake of time. So this video is not like 500 years long. But normally I would say always really drag it down your neck, drag it here, behind, on your ears. Make sure you're getting it in your hairline. So I like to start here because that's where typically I like the most coverage, and most people don't need as much coverage in this area. You could always put some here and then put some here too if you need more coverage there. But typically this is the area that most people need more coverage, like the under eyes and kind of on the cheek. A lot of people have more redness right here. I know I do have a little bit more redness here. And I like to pat it here because I want to concentrate the coverage there. But then I start pulling it out on the edges because I don't need it to be as concentrated of coverage there. So that's why I do that. Pull it down. So the areas that tend to be the most, sorry guys, I'm like trying to figure out where to look right now. This is the first time I've recorded on my phone like this. I used to use my camera, so hopefully this looks okay. Anyways, the areas that I like to kind of not really apply more, but just kind of drag what's already on the brush are like right around my mouth and on my nose area, because that tends to be the places, like I feel like if you pack a lot on your nose, if you already have larger pores, it tends to like kind of show the extra foundation in your pores. So I don't really like to add a lot of extra foundation, and when there's like smile lines and stuff, putting a lot of product is going to enhance those even more, and I don't want to do that. So I just kind of use what's left in the sponge, and then I will take a little bit more, just a tiny little dot, like barely at all, just to make sure that I did fully cover it. Don't forget the bottom of the nose. I have a little spot right there on my nose. Okay, now we're gonna put some on the forehead. Anywhere where you have more fine lines, just remember that the less product, the better, because it will like to sink into any fine lines that you have. And the more product there is, the more there is for it to sink in, if that makes any sense. And then I typically pull my hair and kind of press it in. If you have like very platinum hair, probably not a good idea to do this because it's gonna obviously get in your hair, but my hair is darker at my roots. This is my natural color of my roots, so I just kind of press it in and you can't really see it. But just to make sure, because everybody's scalp is always so much lighter than their face anyways. And since I said I self-tan, it always is a lot paler. I'm gonna take a little bit more. And remember too, when you're doing a pressing motion, you're like this, patting motion, you're kind of concentrating the coverage. when you're doing more of a swiping motion, it's gonna give you lighter coverage where you're swiping. So now we have foundation everywhere. I'm kind of seeing an up close shot. I'm not really pulling too much on the eyelids because I'm going to put concealer there and kind of see what that looks like. So it's kind of like a medium coverage. You can still see a little bit of my freckles kind of peeking through. I don't need like a crazy full coverage. I'm okay with like a medium coverage. I don't like light particularly. I like more of a medium than anything else. That's probably where I stay the most. So I like this a lot. I can do full, but typically I stick with more medium coverage. If you do want a little bit more coverage here, you can always take some. And just kind of pat that in. So the mirror that I'm using is like up here behind me. If you see me staring up there, that is what I'm looking at. So it's been a long time since I've filmed tutorials. I have been so busy doing makeup on other people that I haven't really filmed tutorials in a long time. So this is a nice change. I have to get like used to being in front of the camera doing videos again. I'm like such a perfectionist when it comes to videos, so it's really hard for me to like commit and go ahead and film it because I like want the perfect setup, the perfect lighting, the perfect this, the perfect that. And it takes a lot more than you guys would think to like rig things to make it set up the way you want it to be, and the lighting is good, and to make sure everything is charged, and oh my gosh, it's a lot getting everything together. I mean, maybe for a lot of people they just like sit down and throw it together, but for me it's a process. But I figured since I have all this time, I might as well do it. So hopefully I'll have a lot more videos coming out for you guys since I have the time to. So now we're gonna take concealer. I'm going to take the Born This Way concealer, and I'm taking two because I purposely got one that was darker and one that was lighter, because when I'm not self-tan, I wanted to be able to wear it, and when I am tan, I wanted to be able to wear it too, but I like to mix them together because I don't want my concealer to be too dark. So I'm going to take a little bit of the darker one. Just kind of focus that right here in the inner corner. That's where I have a lot of darkness right here. Then I take just a little bit down the center and a little bit here. Like, I don't know if you can really tell, but that's just a very, very thin amount. Like, there's not a lot of product there. So I take that. And then I don't like super bright white under eyes, but I do like it to be a little bit lighter than my foundation. So I'm going to take this lighter shade and just go on top of it and pull it a little farther out. And just go like that. Those two shades that I used are Natural Beige and Marshmallow. So I'm going to go back with my sponge. I'm knocking things over here. I like to get these first, that way there isn't any kind of drying of the concealer. All right, I'm going to take the tip of this sponge, and this is a Sonia Kashuk sponge. It's like it's just one of their tan sponges, which is why it already looks like foundation, because it is already foundation colored in the first place. I just washed it before I did this video, and it already is that color. So if you're wondering, it's not dirty. It just looks like that already. Ta-da! So I just like to pat it to make sure that I'm concentrating that coverage. I like to pull it out over here and down just a little bit. Make sure you're patting it. And I like to use concealer as eyeshadow primer a lot. It's just my preference. I think it makes it blend really well and it wears all day long. So I highly recommend trying it. I've been doing it for years. I have very veiny eyelids, and I like it to cover up the veins in my eyelids, so that's part of the reason. And it makes the eyeshadow last all day long. So, and look, I found this cute little like sponge holder. I found it on Shop Miss A, and it's like, I think it was like $1, but it's fantastic because I love being able to have my sponges have like a little home to sit in. So now we're gonna go in with powder. I'm going to use the Bareminerals BarePro. I've also been using this for years. I've gone through a million. This is Light Natural number 9. And we're going to use this to set the under eyes. So I'm just gonna take this Real Techniques blush brush, and I just washed all my brushes too, so they're nice and clean. And take a little bit of that. Always tap it off, and then I make sure that I pat out any creases and just set that. And make sure you pat too, because you don't want to swipe away the coverage of the liquid that you just put on there. Now, if I was going to be doing like a very more intricate eye look, I would leave the concealer not set, but I'm just going to be doing a little bronzer in the crease because this is just kind of like an everyday easy natural makeup look, and we're just going to put a little bronzer in the crease. So that I'm going to go ahead and set the concealer with that powder that I just used. Set that, and then I'm going to use the Dermablend translucent powder to set my whole face. So I just take that and pour it in the cap. Just take that same brush. For a while there, when I first started my business and started working for myself, I did this like all the time because I had so much free time. Since I just started my business, I was still like getting to know people in the area. But then once my business really took off, I just did not have time to film anymore because editing takes so long. I'm trying to like, I'm gonna try a new technique when I edit this video and see if it works to like cut down the editing time so that I can actually make myself film more, because the editing is part of the reason that I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to film a video. It takes so long to edit and everything. So we'll see how the editing goes for this video, because I would like to be able to film some more videos for you guys. And hopefully the setup works well too. When I go back and edit, I will see if I like the setup. I just kind of like rearranged my living room just a little bit. This is my cute little, this little gold piece I got from TJ Maxx. And the little wall decals are from Five Below. I got 2 packs and just stuck them all over the wall. And then I kind of just tap around my face just to make sure that none of the areas are tacky. Make sure it's really smooth. And then I'm going to go in with just a little bit of the powder I set my under eyes with. I'm just gonna pat that right in this area where I'm about to blend bronzer. Just pat a little bit of that, a little bit on my forehead. And then we're gonna go in with bronzer. So I'm using the powder brush from Real Techniques. We're going in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the shade Sunkissed Bronzer. When I am tan, I love the color of this because it's got a nice like warmth to it, so it really makes me look sun-kissed. But if I am pale, I just use the regular bronzer because this one is like way too orangey for when I'm pale. So I'm just gonna put that right here. Just create more of a cheekbone. And I put it in this area here where like the top of your ear down here. So don't go down below that. And I'm doing like circles back towards my ear. Then I'm gonna take it on my forehead, just right in my hairline. Just gonna kind of create that 3 shape, start bringing some dimension to the face. So then I am going to take a little bit here on my jawline. I was not blessed with a sharp jawline. It is this like how it's like that, like hereditary thing. My mother and my aunt and my grandmother, it's all the same way. So I've just accepted that's my life. So I do like to put a little bronzer here just to try to define it a little bit more. Just kind of drag it down the neck a little bit. So look at that. Got a little bit more shape on the side now. And then I'm going to take the powder brush that I used, kind of just blend that out a little bit. Going over top of it. It doesn't have any extra powder on it, Going over top of the bronzer with a little bit with this brush just gives it more of an airbrush effect. So that's why I like to do that. About it, I always make sure to press it in my hairline because I want it to look like it actually really is like sun-kissed and not like bronzer. And then I always bring it on the collarbones. Just kind of throw a little bit. On the neck and the collarbones. And then I do take a little bit, just kind of tap just a teeny bit. Make sure I tap it off and just a little bit down the center of the face. I don't ever contour my nose. I feel like my nose is fine. Like I don't just contour for the sake of contour. I don't really have any issues with my nose, so I don't think, like I don't have any issues with it myself. I think it's fine, so I don't really contour. You can contour if you want to contour, but it's just not my thing. I do it on clients every once in a while if they ask, but I don't contour myself personally. So we're gonna take that brush again that has nothing on it, the powder brush. Just kind of go around the edges. We're going to go into blush. We're gonna take another Real Techniques blush brush. These are their newer ones and this is their older one. So I'm gonna take the other older one and I'm taking this CoverFX palette. It's the Perfector Face palette. And I'm taking this blush color right here, Sublime. I'm just gonna put that right here. I like to put it higher. Like growing up, I always remember seeing everybody always put it like right here, like close into the face, but I don't really like how that looks. I feel like this always just brings more attention to your cheekbones, so I bring it up higher and more like around my eye. You guys should tell me what other videos you like to see, because I know that I personally don't even watch like a ton of makeup tutorials anymore, but that's probably more because I know how to do it, and I don't know, I guess tutorials don't interest me as much anymore as they used to, because now I do it professionally. So the only time I really watch, I like to bring it on my nose a little bit too. The only time I really watch tutorials is when I'm like practicing new techniques and stuff like that. But do you guys like tutorials? Do you watch a lot of tutorials? What kind of tutorials do you watch? I know a lot of people ask me about winged eyeliner, and a lot of people ask me about lashes. So I am going to be putting on lashes today, and I'm going to be putting on winged eyeliner. So you'll be able to see me do those. But if you want a more in-depth video, let me know. I have done a lash video before, so if you want to go watch that one, you can. But I can always do an updated one if you guys want me to do an updated one. So then I go back again. Something that I've done for a long time. I always take that powder brush and go back over it. And like I said, I don't add anything to it. It's just got a little bit of the leftover powder I used, but I just kind of rub around the edges a little bit. Just kind of blends it in and makes it look more seamless. So now, highlighter. Champagne Pop is my jam. I love Jaclyn Hill for so long, and this is her highlighter she created with them. So Champagne Pop by Becca. So I'm going to take this brush. I got this in a BoxyCharm, I think. A Moda brush, and I really like this for highlighting. So I'm not like crazy into highlighting, but I do like it a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bit. But I don't want it to look like I've got like a landing strip on my face or anything like that. It's not really my vibe. With this one too, this highlighter, it is easy to go overboard because it is very pigmented, but it also, you can get a soft application too. You can kind of see it. It's really pretty. Put a little on the nose. I don't like the whole Rudolph thing, but I do like to take a little on the nose. Took a little on the cuticle though. Kind of take a little bit just on the eye. Just a teeny bit right above. Same thing, but this time I'm going to take the blush brush I used and I'm going to go back over that. Just make sure it's like blended into your face. So there's that. So now we're gonna do brows. I'm gonna take the e.l.f. Wow Brow in Taupe. And I like pretty natural brows. If I had nice brows, I probably wouldn't even fill them in, but the tail of my brows is like completely blonde and you can't even see it at all. So if I don't fill them in, I look like I have weird brows. So take a little bit of that. And I like to push the hairs up in the beginning part of my brow. Take the tip of this and just kind of go up so they look more like fluffy. And then I take my MAC brow pencil. It's in the shade Brunette. I use a spoolie. And then I just kind of go and just shape it just a little bit more. Then I take it just a little bit and create a teeny bit of a tail. So they're a little bit more shaped. Like that. Okay, so now we have brows done. So now I'm going to take a little bit of the Laneige sleeping mask and put that on my lips just because my lips are so chapped right now. They're like split right here in the center and it hurts so badly. I don't know why they're so dry. Probably just because I need to drink more water. I'm terrible at drinking enough water. I'm working on it. That's like my one thing. Like I love going to the gym. Obviously right now I can't go because of everything going on. But I love going to the gym, and most of the time I do decent eating, relatively healthy. But when it comes to drinking water, I suck at it. I'm working on that. Now we're gonna take the M441 brush from Morphe. It barely has a text on it anymore because I've had it so long and I've used it so much. I just actually washed it. So normally it would already have some like eyeshadow or bronzer or whatever on it. So I would just kind of like fluff it in my crease, but since I just washed it, there's nothing on it. I'm gonna take a little bit of the Physicians Formula bronzer and just kind of like messily throw that in the crease just so it's got a little bit of definition. Okay, so now that we've got that done, I always go back over just with a little bit of the BarePro just at the edges just to make sure it's kind of blended. Like that. The brush that comes with my Anastasia palettes. I'm going to take the Tati Beauty palette. And I'm going to just take this dark brown right here. Put just a little bit of that on my lower lash line. Just for like a kind of subtle definition. I'm gonna take the brush too that I use for the bronzer on my eyelids and just kind of fluff a little bit of that underneath my eyes too. Just gonna wipe off a little bit of that Laneige so it's not too slippery. I'm gonna use the Kylie liquid lipstick today. This is the shade Beige. Then I'm going to take the Lime Life by Alcone gloss in Humble. Such a pretty packaging. Just a little bit of that. This gloss seriously smells like dessert. So now for the last couple steps, we're going to take eyeliner. I'm gonna take the ItCosmetics liner. I'm gonna get closer up so you can see me better. And just draw a line. after I've drawn the line, this is the easiest way that I found to do the wing. So I just take it and lay it right here, and you can do it whichever way you feel like you like to do the line. If you like it to be more straight out, if you like it to be more up, you can kind of just do it depending on your eye shape. I like to do it a little bit more up. So just kind of draw that line. Then I make sure they're even, because if you add like the thickness of the wing, like once you've done that, and if they're not even and you don't like them, then it's a lot harder to get it off. You're going to create a lot more of a mess trying to get it off. But just creating a little line and getting the little line off if you need to, if they're not even, is a lot easier and a lot less messy. So then we're just going to connect it. So then I close my eyes and just connect it like that. Ta-da! And then you just kind of mess around with it from there and just kind of shape it how you want to. I like to make sure it's like pointy at the end. So I go back and do that. Just kind of work on it and mold it however you want it to be. Do the other one off camera and then I will come back. Okay, so now that we have eyeliner done, we're gonna do mascara. Now I have to look at a mirror to do this or else I will poke my eyeball out. And let's not do that. I am using the Essence Lash Princess, like one of my favorite mascaras in the entire world. So we're just gonna throw a little bit of mascara on. It gives so much length and volume, and it's like $5. It might not even be $5. It might be less than $5. It might be like $3. Either way, it's like super cheap, and I've tried a lot of expensive mascaras, and I like this like just as much, if not more, than those mascaras. And I don't even have like fantastic lashes. They're like better than they've been in a while, because now that I'm home all the time and not wearing makeup, just because, I mean, except for things like this, of course, like my eyelashes have been able to thrive a little bit more because I'm not putting false lashes on every day, you know? So I always build like 2 or 3 coats. But like, this is a drugstore mascara, guys. Like, you can actually see my lashes. I mean, of course, we're gonna be wearing false lashes, so it really doesn't matter that much, but mascara done. Now we're gonna do lashes, and I use the Ardell Wispies. This bottom pair right here, I've already worn them, but I put them back in there because we're gonna reuse them. We're in a time of life where going to the grocery store and going to the store is not encouraged. And also, Ulta is closed. So, I mean, I can get my lashes at the store too, but I typically go to Ulta so I can get points and use my points. So I'm gonna pull any little bit of glue that's still left over from the last time I wore them. I've only worn them once. I didn't wear them for very long. So I'm gonna take them in between my tweezers. I'm gonna take my Duo Lash Glue. I'm gonna hold this right here so maybe you can see it. For putting on lashes, tip: if you are not used to using the glue like this, I would not recommend it. I would recommend squeezing it on like a little palette and like dipping the tip and then doing this. But since I do it all the time, like, I know how the glue works and comes out, so I don't blob it on the lash. So like that. And then I just let it kind of chill for like 30 seconds or something, so the lash glue gets kind of tacky. If you go in with it right away, it's going to slide all over the place, and then it's a pain in the butt because it will not stick. All right, so now I'm gonna take the lash. I'll try to do this so you guys can see it. And we're just gonna pop it right there in the center. And then I take the inner corner and place that down. And then I take the outer corner and place that down. And then I just kind of pinch them to my natural lashes. Make sure they're kind of in place where you want them. kind of mess around with them until they are where you want them to be. All right, I'm gonna put the other one on and I will be right back. Okay, so lashes are on, and I did put a little bit more of that brown eyeshadow on the bottom lash line and kind of blended that out. And then I put a little bit more mascara too. So the last thing before setting spray is I'm gonna take a little bit of this highlighter, and this is a M431 brush. So I'm gonna take a little bit, just pop just a teeny bit right in the inner corner. Now, it's time for setting spray. So I'm gonna leave my headband on, put my hair back behind my ears, and I'm gonna take this Scandinavia Makeup Finishing Spray, the bridal one. I always spray it once first. I like a lot because it brings that like healthy glow back to your face. And that's it. Bring my hair. If you're wondering where this is from, this is Adidas. I love this little jacket. So yeah, that's the final look. Like on an everyday, when I just don't really want to think about what I'm doing and I'm just trying to get it done, but I want to look good. A lot of times when I do weddings, I do something like this. Depends on how early in the morning I have to be there. If I have to be there crazy early in the morning, typically I do something like this, but I skip the liquid liner. Still do the bronzer in the crease, but I will put the highlighter like on my eyelid and then still put on lashes. This is pretty much my basic everyday. Come a little closer so you can see. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you guys have any video requests, comment below and I will do them as best that I can. If I can't do like a full video like this, I can definitely do some little like smaller videos and put them on my Instagram. If you guys haven't followed me, go follow me. It's Makeup by SAC on Instagram. And I do have a TikTok too. It's Sarah Ashley Cannon. So I'm obsessed with TikTok. That's my current obsession. And I've been making lots of TikToks. So if you want some cool content, go check me out over there. I'm definitely posting lots of videos on there that are just so like quick and easy and fun. I really love that platform a lot. So yeah, go follow me, subscribe if you haven't, like this video, and leave some recommendations for more videos below. And I'll see you guys later.